Hello, it's me. I'm Pixel, and this is Offie, who is definitely not eating.
No.
No,
What are you saying? What are you saying?
No, I'm not eating at all. No. No,
I'm dying.
eating meat. No, I don't do this thing.
I'm dying. Thank you.
Hi,
Yes, I
Mikael.
am
Hello.
currently. Hi.
Currently?
Currently eating.
Yeah, what you eating? Tell us.
I am eating. Oh God, what are these called in English?
Say that in
In Italian they
Italian.
are called fiocchi di latte. Which is
Basically, like kind of like cereal. Basically, you could say something like that.
milk cereal.
Yeah.
Milk cereal and spicy tuna and taralli.
Taralli is the same
What
in
is
every
that?
language.
Taralli is the same. Okay,
No,
taralli.
they know what's taralli. I eat them live sometimes, and there was
Okay,
one
perfect.
there was one stream where I had a taralli cam.
That is
Don't
quite the mix.
don't
I promise it's good.
don't ask how taralli cam is. It's just a cam. There was one extra tarallo. I put it there, and a camera just pointing at that. That's it. That was the thing.
Perfect. I like that. I promise that this thing is good. It's just very summery to me. I don't know. I feel like this is a kind of summer dinner or lunch when it's too hot outside to
Oh
eat something
yeah,
hot.
yeah.
And
My
this stuff can be quite refreshing.
my summer thing usually is like I love eating poke during summer because it's light and it's tasty.
Yes.
Yum. Also sushi. Yes. Okay. Do we have anything to say apart the fact that basically all of this is George's fault because he said, "Oh yeah, nothing scary is gonna happen,"
Yes.
said George at the beginning. Said George, the perfect boy, at the beginning of the game.
Perfect boy is never wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Never.
last time in Umineko, shit went down. People died.
Last time in Umineko, lots of people
People
dead.
died. Lots of people died. People die when they are killed.
Yes. Okay, here we go. Also, last time I was noticing that the system now here.
Oh right, we need to read that.
Yeah,
Or are
we were no, we didn't read this. That's because I only asked you if the red part is the missing.
Yes.
I will kill you until you're dead.
Yes.
So basically the red part is what is missing, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
The point where they were attacked.
Yeah. Question. Because I have a question, because maybe they said it, but I don't remember. Is it specified if the part of the head that's missing is just because it's been smashed, or because it's actually been removed?
I think smashed.
Okay.
That's the description that we had.
Yeah. But I was wondering if it was like, you know, I don't know, some sort of ritual, and they're gonna use, I don't know what the heck's going on, and so they needed the part or stuff like that. It could have been.
No. For as much as we know, it's just smashed. Their heads have been smashed.
Okay. The only thing I see is that I'm not reading the thing yet. Is there like pattern apart? Is it the fact that it's the head every time? No, I don't think so.
Nope. No, just the head. I'm telling you this.
Okay. Okay.
It's the head or side of the head.
Yeah, it's like
For everyone.
or the entire thing or like one part, because
One
Shannon
part.
is missing half of her face, but that we knew that because they also said that.
Yes.
And for the others, Kraus is also missing.
Yes.
It's the if you notice, it's the opposite side as Shannon.
I see.
Okay, let's read Kraus. His corpse was found inside the Rose Garden storehouse. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seemed the side of his head was smashed after his death. Okay, so the part where it has been smashed after death.
After.
Okay. Well, this is the beginning of everything. His corpse was found in Rudolph. His corpse was found inside the Rose Garden storehouse. His face seemed to have been smashed after his death. He has a right to lament his ill fortune. Okay. Her corpse was found inside the Rose Kyrie. Her corpse was found in front of the Rose Garden storehouse. Her face seems to have been smashed after death. She was chosen by the demon's roulette. There's all there is to it. Okay. Shinomiya Rosa. Her corpse was found inside the Rose Garden storehouse. Same thing for everyone, as well. For everyone, basically. I'll get to see her again, so I don't feel lonely. Shannon, same thing. Don't worry, everyone will be revived in the Golden Land.
Revival of all lost souls.
Yeah, I remember that thing. Goda? How unfortunate. Apparently was originally supposed to be on duty in the guest house.
How unfortunate! It's not like I'm kind of glad. No.
No. Yeah, but
No,
still.
no. I really like his character.
But still. I don't think Shannon deserved this, but still. If she wasn't in the main house, she wouldn't have been killed.
Who knows?
Because all these people were in the main house. Everyone here.
Yes.
And if you notice, none of the kids have been killed.
Nope.
And also, a Canon and Kumasawa and Genji were in the guest house.
Yes, exactly.
And then Nanjo and Kinzo and other people were still in the main house, but they haven't been chosen because the thing was no. 6 chosen by the keys, so 6 people died.
Yes. And we saw 6 people here.
Yeah. Is it question if you can answer?
Yes.
Is it random?
Who gets chosen?
Yeah. For this one. If you, don't answer if you can't and if you can't.
Could be either.
Okay.
This I can say. Could be either.
Because like on the surface, at least for what we can know, it kind of looks 6 random people because it could have been everyone. It could have been Kinzo, it could have been Nanjo, it could have been Hideyoshi or Eva or Natsuhi. Because it's not like they're direct descendant. It's like of Kinzo, I mean. There's even Kirie, who's have nothing to do with the family by blood, I mean. And also Goda and Shannon. And it's not even the bird symbol because Kiria doesn't have it. And not even and Goda also.
Yeah.
So it's not even that.
They're not direct descendants for sure.
Yeah,
It's just 6 people.
6 people from the mix.
Yes.
It says chosen by the key, but chosen by the key could be everything. For what we know, it could be like, yeah, 6 people, because yes.
Let's remember that this is called Demon's Roulette as well.
Yeah. Also.
So it could be random, it could be chosen. At this point, we have both. This is why I said it could be both.
The only thing that I don't really get is these phrases after the description of the dead people. Because this is the beginning of everything. I suppose it's because it's the firstborn. I think.
Can I give you 2 cents?
Mm-hmm.
My 2 cents on this is the beginning of everything in the meaning of the epitaph starting.
Oh, yes, but everyone I got like a description for the person. Like, he has a right to lament his ill fortune, for example, for Rudolph.
But I think at this point, Krau's sentence is a little bit weird. It's not personal. It's just this is the beginning of everything, and the same thing goes to Kyrie. She just got chosen by the Demon's Roulette. That's all there is to it.
Yes,
so
but
I'm not too sure if
it's more because it's a she. It's more dedicated to her. It's basically they're saying I didn't kill her because I wanted. I killed her because she was in the mix, and she got chosen randomly. I don't know. That's how I read it like now, at least.
I see. Okay.
The only thing I don't understand is that
Can I reread the others?
Who?
Rudolph I know, Kraus I know, Kyrie I know, Rosa. I get to see her again so I don't feel lonely.
And even Shannon.
Okay. Okay.
It's like every phrase is dedicated to it's like this is like an entire thing that it's someone saying something to someone else. Okay, it's like conversation, a monologue towards a person here.
I see.
It's like this is the beginning of everything, and then refer to Rudolph. He has the right to lament his ill fortune. She was chosen by the Demon's Roulette. That's all there is to it. I'll get to see her again because it's I'll get to see her again. Not everyone will get to see her again. So I don't feel lonely. Don't worry, everyone will be revived in the Golden Land. How unfortunate. Apparently it was originally supposed to be in good. It's like someone specifically saying something. Is it like it could be Beatrice, but why should you say this about her? It could be though, but I don't know why this. I get to see her again, so I don't feel lonely. I don't think this makes much sense. But maybe it's me. I don't know.
No, it's weird for sure.
It's kind of weird, but it could also be weird just to be weird. Whatever. By the way, so just to have like a little recap, they found the dead bodies with their heads smashed inside the storehouse near the Rose Garden. And for what we know, also, Beatrice was in the zone because close by because she gave the umbrella to Maria.
Yes.
So it's definitely her. And it sees people like the epitaph on the painting. And Rudolph, Kraus, Shannon, Goda. I'm missing someone. Rosa. Who's the last one?
Oh god. We got Rudolph, Kraus.
Rudolph, Kraus, Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Rosa,
So why
Shannon,
I
and I
yes,
forgot
Goda.
Kiri. I don't know why I forgot Kiri.
No,
By
I
the
was
way.
I was confusing Rudolph with Krause. I'm thinking about Krause, like his character, but for some reason his name gets mixed up with.
I think it's because they kinda look alike in just in aspects.
I mean,
They,
they're brothers.
yeah, no, it makes sense, of course. But
It makes sense.
if you look at them, they are. Of course, you cannot see that because their face is
Yeah, but
red now. But
it's-
they are very similar in looking, of course. It make complete sense. They're brothers, but that's why you could mistake one for the other. So yeah, those 6 are dead. They all have been found dead, and they have been put in like a strange position apparently in the storehouse.
Yes, and on the front of the storehouse,
On the shutter of the storehouse.
on the shutter, there was a magical symbol
Like
kind of thing.
like an alchemic
blood.
circle, kinda like Full Metal Alchemist
Yeah, written in blood
style. In blood. Because I mean
because we can.
paint is overrated. So yeah, blood. I mean, it was there. There was probably a lot of blood over there. So yeah, let's use this. There was all the scene about George not looking at Shannon for obvious reasons, and also Shannon had the ring on her finger, and yeah, I think that's all.
So. Yeah, everyone is dying.
They're
physically
dead,
and mentally.
And the other are like traumatized and it actually makes sense.
Yes,
Especially George.
especially George and Butler, I would say.
Oh yeah, Butler also.
Butler.
Butler also because both his parents are dead. I mean, he's dead, and what would be his stepmother is dead. So yeah.
Also, this game is sorry, I'm going to swear. This game is a bitch because up until now, it's not like we had a spotlight on either Rudolph and Kyrie, but of course you had to have Kyrie having this whole conversation about the chessboard and the reasoning that they do.
Oh yes, of
with
course.
Butler,
Yes.
and Rudolph coming to them and going like, "I need to talk to you because I am going to die tonight."
That's what I was gonna say. How did he know? That's my question.
Yeah, that's interesting as well.
Because the thing is, it doesn't seem like he believed in the witch thing. At least apparently, it could have been that it was faking. It could be everything, of course. It could be that he knew all along. But it was like, yeah, I knew it, but I couldn't say because, or else the others would think I'm insane or stuff like that. It could be anything. So yeah, but how did he know that was the day? Because the epitaph had been there for like a long time, apparently. So even if he knew, how did he knew? Oh, maybe because of the letter.
Maybe.
Could have been.
Is it called Occam's razor? Like the most probable thing is the true one.
How is it called?
Maybe. Occam's razor. Maybe.
Occam's razor. What? Never heard that before.
It's a theory, I suppose. You know, like Murphy's law.
Yeah.
Occam's razor.
Occam's razor. Never heard this before.
Let's see. In philosophy, this is philosophy, of course, is the problem-solving principle that recommends searching for explanations constructed with the smallest possible set of elements.
Okay.
And it's basically said Yeah, one should prefer the hypothesis that requires the fewest assumptions.
I see.
So
Okay, okay,
basically,
okay. It's like the thing is most It's like it's the most probable thing you can
yes,
you
is
can think
the
with the stuff you have in front of you, basically.
yes. In Rudolph's case, I would assume that he just he already was scared for his life because his position is unfortunate
Yes,
for
yes, of
sure.
course, of course.
Then they received the letter,
And
and
he
he went
said,
like,
"Yeah,
"Welp,
well,
definitely
guess who's gonna
gonna die,"
die?"
because he was already scared to begin with.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So he got even more scared, and he decided to say that because he was being paranoid. Unfortunately, that was true.
Yeah, apparently paranoia sometimes is true. Is real. Okay.
Yeah.
So, by the way, this is Jessica looking to George right now. When she faced George again, she once again had on her usual expression. Also, she still couldn't smile. Butler kept on crouching in front of his parents' bodies. Oh, this is not Butler's thinking right now. It's like
Nope, just
an
narration.
external point of view.
Yes.
すまねえな。がっつり泣いたら落ち着いたぜ。親父の野郎。普段はクソクソ言ってるくせに、ちょっと死んじまったくらいでピーピー泣くんじゃねえぜって笑ってやがら。仕方ねえだろ。親が死んだら泣くように。遺伝子すり込まれちまってんだから。
I don't think that's Gene Butler, but that's called having human feelings, but okay.
Exactly.
Butler's face was still bright red from the tears, but he had at least recovered enough to fake a smile for only a little, for only a bit, if only a bitter one. I swear I can't breathe, guys.
I feel you.
子供たちを連れてお屋敷に戻っていなさい。
Natsu had been standing under the rain this whole time, unable to take a step in the storehouse. Maybe she had her own way of grieving, different from Butler's. Realizing she had to take a role of responsibility now that her husband was dead, she gave Canon those orders.
はい、奥様。
Canon rose silently and turned to face me. Okay, this is Butler again? It's a pure white,
Yes.
almost as though his own heart had died along with Shannon. There was no life in his expression. An ordinary day if he had been told to guide the children through the beautiful rose garden. Canon might have led the way. And now there was no distinction between Canon and the children. They were now just kids about the same age, suffering the pain of losing those close to them. After making sure that the children were leaving, Natsui started giving orders to Genji.
現地、すぐに警察に連絡しなさい。台風が通り過ぎるまでは来られないでしょうが、どうすればいいか指示を与えてくれるはずです。
わかりました。防災用の無線機がありますので、それで連絡します。
Well, I think the police in this case can tell you, well, you're fucked because we cannot get there. So
Yeah. Maybe close all of the doors and stuff.
do you think it's gonna be enough at this point? I mean,
Nope. Nope. It's Beatrice we're talking about.
they closed the house, the entire house, the night earlier. There was a scene all about that with Shannon doing
like,
that,
yeah.
checking every window and every door. So like,
I know.
like I don't think that's gonna be enough, but whatever. So the police is just gonna say, well, you're fucked. Good luck getting out of there alive. That's right, the phones were out today, weren't they? However, they also had the radio since they couldn't necessarily rely on phones all the time while living on an isolated island. At any rate, they should start by contacting the police and receiving their instructions. Everything else could wait.
ナチョ先生、もうこの場はどうしようもありません。
残念ながら私には何もできませんな。
わかりました。源氏、 せめて主人たちの顔をこのような姿を晒すことは当人にとっても。
はい。
Genji picked up several dried up towels from inside the storehouse, and Eva stopped him with a shrill voice.
ちょっとちょっと、お待ちなさいよ。ここは犯行現場なんでしょ。
That actually makes sense. It's better not to touch anything.
なら変に手を加えちゃダメよ。私たちは混乱してて現場に土足で踏み入っちゃったけど、それはきっと警察の捜査の邪魔になったわよ。
Nasui glared at Eva, offended. Gently speaking, Eva was right. Yeah, that's what I said. Even so, she glared at Eva as though accusing her of refusing to do those tragic or Even so,
And
she
so to do
glared...
with
yeah,
with,
there's a word missing. Okay, I was like,
sì. Remember, this is a translation, and I think this is still a fun translation.
Yeah, no, but I think it's still like it could be like a typo or something. It could be something like that.
Yeah, in a visual novel that is over the Bible's length.
No, that's what I said. I was like, what? Because wait, this doesn't make any sense. Okay, she glared at Eva as though accusing and refusing to do what though?
With wait.
No, it doesn't make sense.
I refusing to do. Oh wait.
To do. Okay, now it makes sense. Okay. We were missing a piece. Okay, there's actually no.
私もエヴァさんに賛成ですな。
The thing is, wait. She glared at Eva as though accusing her of refusing to do those tragic corpses, which has been humiliated after that. Simple kindness of covering their faces. Now it actually makes. Sorry, but
Why was it? Oh no.
sorry, but like, there's like a lot of spaces down here. Why isn't this in this side? It's probably because in Japanese it was divided, and that's why. But still,
Yeah.
But still. However, Ada spoken
Well,
calmly and correctly. This horrible situation definitely was an accident. It was a crime. Someone has killed them. It was a murder case. So they needed to be careful to avoid disturbing the site any further. They had to do what little they could to aid the police, preserving clues that might help catch the detestable culprit.
警察が来るまでここは手をつけずにしておくべきです。
奥様、いかがなさいますか。
This makes sense, actually.
Yes.
そうですね。わかりました。ここを閉ざしなさい。
Just close the shutter and
Yeah.
leave it there.
それから
There we go.
念のためここに別の施錠をするように。
別の施錠？
ええ、ここに来た時シャッターの鍵は閉じていました。ということはシャッターの鍵を使い犯人が施錠したということです。
確かに通りや。じゃあここを開けた限り犯人の指紋が残ってるんとちゃうんか。
警察に
Or
証拠として
maybe-
提出する価値はあるでしょうけど。
Or maybe it's very simple. Whoever got the key is a possible culprit. Don't you think about that?
カノン君が普通に持ってここを開ける
There
の
we
に
go.
使用しちゃったわ。多分カノン君の指紋も付着しちゃってるわよ。
Yes.
そしてその鍵はさっき源氏さんに手渡され、源氏さんも素手で受け取
Oh,
ってる。
okay, so everything's fact. Okay, I see.
大した証拠にはなりそうにないわね。
True.
それは不用心でした。
It's,
Good soundtrack in the background.
dude, it's not your fault.
申し訳ございません。
It's not like he could have known.
What?
It's not like he could have known.
Yeah, of course. You
So no, it's not
also
his fault,
in a
not his
situation
fault.
like that, you don't actually think about not leaving fingerprint. I have to be honest.
この倉庫の鍵は他にもあるんか？
この一つだけです。
ということは犯人はその鍵を使用人室から持ち出し、そして律儀に元の場所に戻したちゅうことになるな。
Yoshi's theory is implausible, but was actually very strange if you thought about it. Why would go all the trouble returning Akira's soul? No, if you think about it even more deeply, there are some points that are even more bizarre. When a criminal hides a body, usually trying to delay the point at which it will be found, so they can use that time to escape. The six weren't necessarily killed here, but it was reasonable to assume that they were killed somewhere on this island, carried to this storehouse, and needed to delay the discovery of the crime. But I don't think they were put there to not be discovered, because there was like
The symbol is very
there was like a
blatant.
beat sign more than the alchemic circle. The more obvious thing, it was like a neon light which said corpses are here. So I don't know.
I can read now if you want.
Sure.
Yet the eerie magic circle scribbled on the warehouse shutter had eloquently indicated the location of the hidden corpses, just as we said.
Exactly.
Sure, it didn't explicitly mention the corpses, but 6 people had gone missing. In that situation, someone had made such an obvious piece of graffiti and even returned the key to the shutter. Almost as though they wanted the corpses here to be discovered.
Or maybe it was magic and all of this doesn't make any sense.
This is also understandable.
世情を新たにしたいと言っているのです。
いい案だと思います。私も賛成です。
Genji fished around inside the storehouse and unsealed a brand new padlock that had been inside a small box.
鍵はどうなさいますか？
私が持ちましょう。責任を持って警察に手渡します。
Natsuhi took the key to the padlock from Genji's hand.
Oh, okay. There's one error. Did they clean the circle also?
No,
last time.
I think
Didn't they paint over it or something?
No. No, wait.
Yeah, I remember they.
No, they wanted to do that in the beginning because they only saw the graffiti and went like, "Oh my god, this is so unsightly. We can paint over it."
Yeah, but
and
I remember.
one day we will remove it.
Why it's not here now then?
Because the original CG does not have the magic circle on it. There was a separate CG with the magic circle.
Yeah, but it was earlier we saw the version with the.
Really?
Yeah, last time there was. I remember distinctly the magic circle on the shutter.
I remember the two different CGs, but I may be wrong. Oh well, probably it's just wrong on their side. They haven't touched it, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Let's see.
After that, the Alexis did and lowered the shutter. No, there we go.
Okay.
And so the corpses were once again sealed behind the shutter, which was still covered with that creepy magic circle. Genji crouched down in front of the shutter to fasten the new padlock. Shutters often have a place in front where you can attach your own lock, in addition to the main lock of the shutter. This was one of those types. In the midst of the roar of the thunder and the pouring rain, the storehouse stood there ominously. With its closed shutter still covered in a blood-like creepy substance, it swallowed up the bodies of the 6. To Natsuhi, putting the new lock on was mainly to preserve the scene for the police. She might have felt like she wanted to shut that mouth for all eternity, to prevent that eerie beast from swallowing up any more victims.
さあ、行きましょう、南條先生。ご足労をありがとうございました。現時は急いで警察に連絡を。
戻りましたらすぐに連絡します。
Yeah, the
Okay.
adults left the storehouse.
Okay, the bets are on the table. The radio's not gonna work. I put everything on the radio's not gonna work. All my money on the radio's not gonna work.
I mean, it would be understandable in this rain.
I put everything. I go all in on the radio's not gonna work.
Okay. What if you lose?
Don't care.
Okay.
Oh, there's the circle.
The ghastly magic circle drawn on the shutter kept the 6 bodies in its throat, looming eerily as the lightning occasionally lit it up. So there's 2 different CGs, it's just that we saw one and then the other on top, air quotes.
Yeah, it could be. I don't really remember. It could be.
No, it's okay. I'm not too sure either, to be honest.
Random empty square of the text box for a second.
All that could be heard was the sound of the rain, the voices from the kids' TV program Maria was watching, and the engrossed Maria's cackling voice. Right, we should tell Maria, maybe. In other words,
Maybe don't tell her right now, or you know.
What greeted them as they returned dumbfounded from that horrible, bizarre scene was the voice of Maria as she rolled around laughing at the TV.
Oh yeah, she could have and she couldn't. She can't know.
Those who returned to the room didn't know how to explain to Maria that her mother was dead, and were trapped by a suffocating silence. At first, Maria returned their stares with a dubious look. But when she realized that they were going to blame her for anything, she ignored them and again immersed herself in the TV program.
Honestly, makes sense.
The children wordlessly sat down heavily on the sofa. Their minds were probably blank from their state of shock. Everyone had already cried and mourned so much, but now they just vaguely sat there, their faces seemingly to have lost all emotion. Only Canon had returned to his usual calm expression. Oh well. However, that probably didn't mean he'd been able to wipe out the shock. Nothing was reflected in his eyes as he stared into empty space. Hideyoshi kept on fidgeting, and every time he remembered that horrible scene, he started muttering about how he couldn't believe it, how it couldn't have been something from this world, how it must have been the work of a demons. Every now and then, mutterings produced a question directed at Nanjo. Nanjo, why? But the latter kept repeating in a calm, doctor-like manner that nothing could be understood by only glancing at the scene.
Honestly, they have this only doctor that's here that could probably be the only one that can explain some stuff, and they're all asking questions to him probably, and I can kind of see it, and I would probably do the same, but at the same time,
For Nanjo.
I would never want to be in Nanjo's place.
Yes. And that until the police arrived, they wouldn't learn anything. However, Nanjo only appeared calm next to Hideyoshi, who simply couldn't suppress his agitation and fear. In fact, Nanjo had also received a huge shock, and his face was deathly pale. Maybe that atmosphere was why she tried to rise to the challenge and take charge. Natsuhi appeared to be unchanged from her normal attitude, and she briskly gave instructions. Oh well.
Ah yes.
かしこまりました。
Go talk to the one that probably started all this.
私も一緒させていただいていいかしら、夏日姉さん。クラウス兄さんがいなくなった以上、お父様の補佐は私の仕事だもの。
Girl, is this a time? For real?
Yes.
その私が夏日姉さんに任せっきりで、ここでくつろいで
Okay,
るわ
Natsumi,
けに
if you
はいかない
slap her in the face, they probably give you
Emma-
like a
Emma
medal
being
or
like,
something.
Oh my god, would you look at the time?
Oh no, Carol's dead. Okay, so everything's mine now because I'm the firstborn now. So
Yeah.
yeah, everyone get out of here.
Time to take everything from the Shiromiya family.
Yeah.
Natsui was struck speechless by Eva's aggressive move in a situation like this.
If you slap
There we
her
go.
right now, they're gonna give you a medal probably. So do it.
She seemed to be claiming that, with Krau's dad, the one to take responsibility shouldn't be his wife, but herself, the next highly ranked in the family. Or maybe she hadn't been at all happy when Natsuhi took command without reference to her in such an extreme situation. However, even Eva's mind has been blank from shock until a moment ago. She only came to her senses after Natsuhi started giving orders.
お好きになさるといいでしょう。
Natsui started walking without saying a word more.
Honestly, they said we should let Eva. Yeah.
Yeah.
Natsui basically said, you know what? Fuck it. Do whatever you want. I don't care. People is dead and you care about this? Do whatever you want.
Fuck you, yeah. Eva followed behind her. As they did, Kumasawa ran into the parlor. She usually wasn't the kind of person to run around, so under normal condition, most people would have taken her entrance as sign that something was the matter. But because everyone was still stricken with shock, they hardly even noticed her. She wasn't the kind of person to run around, so under normal her
Okisama! 夏希姉さんならお父さんのところへ行ったですぐ戻ってくるやろ。どないしたんや、熊沢さん。
Okay, live one is down. Not
Oh.
anymore. Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
no,
we're back.
it was a kneecap probably. I don't know.
Yeah, we crashed. What we're here. We got it. Oh my god.
Are you coming back? Also,
Wait, I am back.
wait, I'm.
What happened?
I don't see you.
For some reason we got. Wait, I'm still in. I'm still hosting.
And wait a moment.
You disappeared.
Oh, okay, wait.
This is you disappearing.
Okay, maybe I have to rejoin or something. Fun scuff moment, yeah.
Yes, we love scuff.
As long as it's fun for you. Okay, I wasn't in the room anymore because of
You
the
crashed.
yeah, everything crashed. I think it was like
It was Beatrice.
Of course, yes. she killed the stream.
You killed the stream.
But the stream revived somehow. By the way.
Someone found the golden land.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized that I haven't done something tonight because I was busy eating. I haven't eaten your antlers.
Oh no, girl! I told you that you can do that when you've been tested for rabies. Okay.
Okay.
You ate already. You wanna eat something else? Or what the heck?
No.
Didn't you-
I'm satisfied. This is why I'm leaving your antlers alone
Oh,
for
okay.
tonight.
Okay. By the way, blood in the dining hall. Mochi.
Ow. Ow.
Hey,
Ow.
hey, those are mine, okay? It's not allowed.
Okay.
Blood in the dining hall, apparently.
Yes. The ears of everyone in the parlor twitched. Everyone thought the same thing.
Oh, one sec. Can you? Because I have to check something. One moment. Yeah, sorry.
Metal is good.
Metal. Yeah. Okay. Everything's fine. I had to check if it was okay, because I checked on the Twitch side if it was good. I didn't check on the YouTube side. Okay, so
I see. Everything fine?
yeah, everything's fine.
Okay. Everyone thought the same thing. I hope I misheard that. Any container can only hold so much. And no one here would be capable of handling yet another tragedy.
I mean, only 6 people died. What is one more at this point?
So they all thought it. I hope I misheard that.
なんやて食堂
朝食の準備に食堂に配膳に行ったら
First one to start running was George. His harsh footsteps jogged Hideyoshi and Nanjo to their senses, and they chased after him. Butler and the others followed. They flew into the dining hall, one after another, but they didn't find any change that might have caused the Kumasawa to go pale. To those who had viewed that gruesome scene in the storehouse, it was a bit of an anticlimax. However, Kumasawa, who had followed them, pointed it out. There really were some traces of blood remaining on the floor. Compared to that terrible scene, it wasn't very impressive. However, if you calmly thought about it, this definitely indicated that the loss of a lot of blood.
Could be that someone died here and then was put in the
Storehouse?
storehouse.
Maybe?
ここにも血だまりがあるよ。これは一体。
だいぶ時間が経っているように見えますな。おそらく昨べここで殺されたんだと言ってもいいでしょう。
そういうことになるんやろな。わしらは昨べずっと食堂で話し合いをしとった。そしてここに何者かが押し入ったに違いない。
父さんたちが打ち合わせを抜けて休んだのは何時だっけ？
昨夜の24時を少し過ぎたくらいの頃や。だからその後にと考えるんが妥当やろな。
マジかよ。勘弁してくれよ。
お嬢様、しっかり。
俺はもうさっきの倉庫でこの世の地獄ってやつを拝
Oh
んじまった。
yeah, I couldn't stand that.
今さらこのくらいじゃ答えねえぜ。
そうかよ。よかったな。私は頭がどうにかなっちまいそうだぜ。ここは食堂だぜ。私が毎日ここで食事をして、学校のことをぼやいたり、宿題のことをぼやいたり。
Oh yeah, this is like our normal house. I forgot about
Yes.
that.
親父に学校の成績の話をされたり、そういうところなんだぜ。
お嬢様、これ以上ここにいるのはよくありません。100万へ戻りましょう。
俺も同感さ。秀吉おじさん、この部屋は多分警察にとって重要な意味
Maybe
がある
don't
と思いま
use
す。
it. Yeah.
俺たちが踏み荒らしちまうのはまずいんじゃないですか。
Butler proposed this in a slightly firm voice as, along with Canon, he grabbed the pale, shaking Jessica's shoulders.
バトラさんの言う通りですな。この部屋にこれ以上好んで居続けることはありますまい。
Nanjo spoke while looking at everyone's pale faces. Even though that horrible scene in the storehouse felt like something not of this world, at least then we'd been able to leave, to cut ourselves off from that place and run away. Everyone had shared in that feeling. However, this dining hall was different. It was in the mansion, the main building on this estate. And as Jessica had said, it should have been one of the most calming places, even inside the mansion. It was where all of the relatives had eaten lunch and dinner yesterday. The shock of seeing this place smeared with blood reminded us of that horrible spectacle in the storehouse, and forced us to accept that we hadn't really been able to run away from the scene of that tragedy.
わしも同感や。この部屋には犯人の痕跡が残ってるかもわからんし、素人のわしらがかき回すべきとちゃうで。はよ出るんや。はよはよ。
Hideyoshi also understood the meaning of what Butler had said and pushed everyone to hurry out of the dining hall. Oh my god!
We cannot read tonight, that's okay.
Nope. The way we were then, looking at the blood any longer would have been too harsh.
Oh, I think they're
slower.
no, they're missing comma here. By the way.
No, nello stato in cui eravamo, guardare quella roba troppo a lungo sarebbe stato peggio.
Yes, that's okay.
There's no need for.
There was a need for an extra comma. Yeah, that's a certain point.
No, I don't know. Oh well, it's fine. Nobody went away. Oh my god! Wait, I'm drinking.
Yes, drink. Nobody went away in his words. Everyone reached out further down in the hall. It was almost that the last person in the room would be trapped in there, all alone.
Oh my god. Ominous. Just how I like it.
Yay!
You know the feeling of walking down a very long and dark corridor.
Okay, I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be back one second.
Okay. Well, hopefully you're not walking down a very long alleyway. All alone. Oh my god. Is it just what is happening to this? Pixel has been kidnapped by Beatrice. There is no other fucking explanation. I don't like this, and I like this, and then away. Oh my god. Tonight is just scuff. All over scuff, and this is how we like it, of course. Scuff is what makes lives interesting. A life without scuff would have just been an edited video somewhere. Ah, hopefully it didn't actually get kidnapped by Beatrice, but at this point, his life was first, and then maybe his model was the second sacrifice. Oh well. This is what we get for playing Umineko in the night. For some reason, the first time I played it, at some point I kept getting nightmares, and I decided to force a hard rule on myself to never continue playing Umineko past 10 p.m. or 10:30 p.m. or something like that. And I only broke that rule once for the finale, where I continued playing until 3 a.m. But I couldn't wait any longer. So it was necessary. It was absolutely necessary. Oh well.
I'm back.
You're back, but your model completely disappeared. And
I knew I moved it away. I moved it myself.
Ah, I thought you were kidnapped by Beatrice because
What
it was
the
so random.
heck? I went to the bathroom. I told you.
Yes, you told me. You know that your model moves on its own at times, you know.
Yeah, I know. That's why I moved it.
Yeah, okay. And I thought that it just moved by itself all the way over there to follow you into the bathroom and murder you. Oh well. Since we were talking about very long alleyways,
Oh yeah.
and being alone.
By the way,
So, once in the alleyway, we lent a hand to Kumasawa, who was still trembling and leaning against the wall, and we all headed back to the parlor together. Then Genji returned.
here it is.
Time
Let's
to
see
see
if I
if you
was
were
right.
right. It's like,
おお、源氏さん。警察に連絡はつきましたか？
それが申し訳ござい
Yeah,
ま
I
せん。
was right.
I didn't even try.
What was that? Oh, no, it's the music.
Hmm?
Okay. No, I heard a beam, beam, beam. It was like
Oh
a
yeah, it's
jingle
the
or
music.
something.
No, it's the music.
無線機の故障か、それ以外の理由によるものかわかりませんが。
なんや、警察に連絡がつかんのか。電話も無線もどっちもダメなんか。
申し訳ございません。月曜の朝に船が来ることになっていますので、その船の通信。
この島には船はないんか。新島の警察署までちょっくら行ってくれ
Yeah, try doing that in a typhoon.
In a typhoon with people who are not trained to even use a boat.
Normally.
秀吉さん、この天気では無理だ。少なくとも台風が通り過ぎるまではどうにもなりません。
クラウス様のボートは今修理中で島にございません。ですので、
That's
月曜の
an incredible coincidence.
Yeah, coincidence. Yes, in quotes.
そんなアホな話があるか。6人も死んだんやで。そして電話も無線も通じず、船もない。台風が過ぎて船が来るまで、つまり明日の朝までわしらは警察にも連絡できず、この島におれっちゅうことなんか。
ってことはつまり俺たちだけじゃなくおじさんたちを殺した犯人もこの島から出られず
Mm-hmm.
足止めってことだな。
Too
Mm-hmm.
bad the criminal is a witch, or else this would have been very simple.
そういうことになるね。みんなを殺した犯人はまだこの島にいる。
親父たちを殺した奴はこの島から逃げ出せずまだ潜んでやがるってことかよ。くそくそくそくそ、見つけ出してやるぜ。警察になんか引き渡すもんか。私がこの手でやっつけにしてやる。
You know,
Hmm?
I was thinking, in normal circumstances,
Yes.
the most suspicious one here wouldn't be in Eva and Hideyoshi. Considering the people that are dead right now.
Hmm.
Because, think about it. We crossed that. Eva is the one that can inherit everything.
Yes.
And also no Rudolph asking her for money. And same thing for Rosa.
Yes.
Also, look at the family tree. George is alive. And the one they didn't want him to marry is also dead. So
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
in normal circumstances, probably Eva is the most suspicious one.
Why Goda though?
It could have been a witness because he saw something she shouldn't have. He wasn't supposed to see. Could be everything.
Fair enough.
Could be anything.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, his caption is how unfortunate.
Yeah, also that, and also it could be they had to kill Shannon. Probably God was there close by, and at that point you're killing 5 person. Why not killing 6 at this point? So in these circumstances, Hideyoshi and Eva are the most suspicious.
Mm-mm.
Are the most sus. This is just
Sus.
Eva more so than the other. Yes, honestly. The only thing I'm not suspicious, why I'm not suspicious of Hideyoshi, because of all that talking about the ring and Shannon and all about that. But it could have been all like an entire fake argument
could be,
because it could be faking it or anything. So for what we know,
It could be, but Hideyoshi's whole character as being portrayed as being kind and understanding, even with Maria, for example. So I wouldn't put this past him.
Still
just
could
accepting that this could be.
could still be a facade for what we know.
Still, yes, yes.
But still, if I have externally, if I have to look at someone and says it's probably one of these people, is probably Eva or Hideyoshi, because George had no reason for killing Shannon.
Yes, exactly.
And okay, Butler Ated is dead, but I don't think to the point of killing him. Also, why Kraus is not really interested in the in everything the stuff.
No.
We actually know his way of thinking because most of the time the narration is on his point of view.
Yes.
Canon.
Also, if he wanted the inheritance, he would have needed to kill Kraus and Eva.
And Eva
not
as well.
Even his parents.
Not his parents. Yes. So Natsui killed her husband? I don't think so.
Well, she was extremely disappointed in him.
Still, I don't know. Doesn't really. She was also proud of Goda. Why killing? Oh yeah, could have been still an accident. Yes, but I don't know.
Goda being an accident is the most sense we can make of this
Goda,
situation.
I think it's because it's a it could have been just because it's a witness. That's all. It was a witness to. If I have to guess, probably Shannon, because they're both servants and they were in the same house. So it could be that.
Yes.
Well,
he was the one giving Shannon the order to go check the locks.
Yes.
So maybe after a while he didn't see her coming back.
And he could have been going
her.
checking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Goda, Canon, Kumasawa, Maria, Butler, George, and Jessica, they were all of them were in a different house. So it couldn't have been them. Kinzo? No, if it was Kinzo, he would have killed all his children and not even one of them. So no, I don't think so. Nanjo, no, definitely not. So yeah, if I have to point my finger at someone at this point, if I have to say it's somewhere between these people, it's number 1 Eva, number 2 Hideyoshi.
Understandable.
Okay, let's continue. Also,
yeah, maybe they forgot to explain to Maria.
Also, now that I think about it, Eva is the one that made the comment toward Natsui. Oh yeah, now it's my duty to do that.
Yeah.
So that's even more sus.
This is an actual game of Amogus.
It's a huge game of Amogus.
Maria had finally realized that something odd was happening in the parlor. Rather than noticing something odd, it was probably better to say she felt unhappy and neglected, since everyone was getting so excited about something only she didn't know about.
And you're asking him like that? Oh man.
The way she spoke was completely calm. Just as though she was talking about someone who has appeared on a television drama, as though it was someone else's problem. Jessica probably didn't like that. As though trying to say, can't you tell just by looking at me, overwhelmed with grief? She flared up at Maria.
Maybe don't tell it like that to a little kid.
私の親父も、パトラの父さんと母さんも、コーダさんもシャノンも、そしてマリアの母さんも。
There we
どうす
go.
んだジェシカちゃん。悲しいのは君だけじゃない。
マリアさん。
Okay. I feel like her answer is gonna be the most calm of the group because she honestly believes she's the one that really believes in
Beatrice.
it's like the one that knows everything.
ショックだろうが、聞いてください。あなたのお母さんが死んでしまいました。
ママが死んじゃった
See?
ああ。誰かに殺されちまった。悲しいだろうがよ。心をしっかり。
何人
Yeah.
死んじゃった
6人だぜ。6人だ。くそくそくそ。あんな残酷なことしやがって。
Doku? Oh, she said Roku. Okay. It's like a strange way of saying it. Okay.
踊ってもんがあるだろうがよ。人間ならよ。誰だか知らねえが、犯人は人間じゃねえぜ。血の色が赤いわけがね
Hmm. Almost like the culprit is a witch.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you know, but when they say their blood isn't red, it's because in Japanese mythology, demons have black blood.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like Onis and all of them, they don't have red blood, but most of them, it's black.
Oh, wait, I'm getting flashbacks from Shinsekai Yori.
Okay.
Maybe. That's the closest thing I got to Japanese folklore, I think. And I remember something like that, but I didn't realize that it was for this reason. I thought it was just...
It's because of that, definitely.
Okay. Clear, thank you.
人間じゃない鍵が選んだ生贄なだけ
Ah, the what? Chosen by the what?
I can translate if you want.
Yes,
at the
please. I wasn't I wasn't paying too much attention to the voice.
It's just a sacrifice is chosen by the key.
Okay.
Oh god, I can Kagi it's key, and Ikenin, something like that is sacrifices.
Okay. Okay.
There's a reason why it's censored.
Why is it censored?
But Butler didn't understand.
Oh!
おい、マリア。今、なんて言った
There you go.
My dad just
Mario
said
just said
something.
something. But since the words were so remotely separated from the flow and context of the conversation, I couldn't understand them for a second. When I tried to ask her to repeat again, I was shocked by the sudden sound of Aunt Natsuhi's loud voice coming from the entrance to the parlor. It looked like Aunt Natsuhi and Oteva had returned from their trip to see grandfather.
無線でも連絡できない？こんな時に使えなくて何のための防災無線ですか？
申し訳ございません。毎年保守点検はさせているはずなのですが。
Then what happened?
ほら、光をチカチカさせるみたいな船舶信号ってあるじゃない？そういうので向こうの島に連絡することはできないのかしら？
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be seen anywhere since there's a typhoon girl.
Bad signal.
そのような設備はございません。申し訳ございません。
Poor Genji. Not your fault.
Genji, it's not your fault, dude.
Just then, Kumasawa arrived, pushing a cart loaded with breakfast. Since there was no way we'd been able to eat in the dining hall, Hideyoshi had ordered her to take it to the parlor.
なぜ朝食をこちらに？
Oh, she doesn't know.
ナツキさん
Of course she wasn't
それ
there.
は後で話す。それよりエヴァ、お父さんはどうなんや。
ご一緒でないところを見ると、このような事態になっても部屋から出
It's the one that organized everything. Why should he leave right now? Like he care. Like he could care about that.
いないわ。部屋は空っぽだったのよ。
Tan tan tan.
Oh. He went to see his waifu.
なんやてこんな時にどこ
New
行ったんや
soundtrack, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
親方様が書斎を出られたというのですか。
Yeah, he went to see his waifu. We
そう
told
で
you.
す。私も驚いています。いつの間に部屋を出たのやら。あなたたちに心当たりはないのですか？
Natsui looked at Genji and Kanon as she said this. Maybe she was trying to ask whether the servants who served directly under the one-wing eagle knew of a place to make.
I heard it. Everyone heard it. Yes, she was gonna say one winged angel. Also, me too. I was gonna think that. I thought that while I was reading it in my mind. So yeah, it's
Yes.
everyone's fault. Sephiroth. By the way,
Kinzo. However, it was probably the other way around. Their faces made it clear that those who knew Kinzo best realized even more than the rest how impossible it was for him to leave his room.
僕たちにも見当がつきません。
ご存知の通り、親方様はあの書斎の中に、お休みの場所からご不条まで、親方様があの部屋をお出になる
talk about being an ikikomori.
よっぽどのことが
Yeah.
ない。考えられ
I mean, wouldn't you be if your children were like...
Honestly, you're still gonna be dead. Your children are like that. Yes. Since I am gonna be dead anyway, very probably very soon. So yeah, at this point.
となると、なんや、そのよっぽどのことがあったって考えるのが自然だっちゅうことになるんか。
まだそうと決まったわけではありません。
Wait, are you assuming that the man that is very old, very old, on basically on his deathbed, went out during the night, took a key, killed his own servant, which is the people that cares the most, more than his children, and killed like 5 other younger people that could that could have easily outforced him.
I mean, Kinzo could do that, if you ask me. But, and this is a huge but, between the people who died, there was Shannon.
Yeah, that's what I
If
think.
he picked someone else, it could have been possible and plausible for Kinzo, who knows that this is going on and he needs sacrifices in order for Beatrice to come back.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put it past him to go around and kill people until he gets the necessary sacrifices to revive Beatrice. But I don't think he would kill Shannon so easily.
Yeah, me
because
neither.
he chose her as his personal servant.
And
So
she,
that's the most suspicious
and
thing.
she also had the bird on her. So
The bird on, yeah, exactly.
yeah. Also, if it is how even though, if you recall, he said that everyone was in the mix and he would accept any output of that. So
Yeah.
if he had to do it on its own, it could have been. The only thing that doesn't make much sense to me is that assume that he killed Kraus.
Yes.
He is a lot younger than him and probably stronger since his how old is Kraus Kinzo? They don't say.
Old. Old.
Yeah, very old.
Very old and also sick.
Yes, and Kraus was younger and also not sick, so he could probably outforce him. Where is? Oh, it's gray now because we don't know where he is.
Yes. Disappeared from his study unnoticed. Kinzo Sadi has everything from a bed to a toilet to a bathtub, so it's extremely rare for him to go outside. However, he does occasionally go out for a walk on a whim without telling anybody, and his disappearance invariably leads to a huge uproar throughout the house. Usually comes back as soon as he gets angry. Usually.
Like this
And
time
I
he's
was
not gonna
wondering
come
because
back.
I heard the sound of something appearing in the
Yeah, there was
compendium.
the bleep 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 bleep.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that it was this. Understand?
Yeah, I noticed only right now. By the way, I don't think it could have killed like Kraus or Rudolph since they were younger and definitely stronger than him. Unless he had
what if he tricked them? Imagine being called finally after years to your father's room.
Wait. They have been killed in the dining hall. We know about that.
Maybe. We don't know who got killed there.
At least more than one person, they said. There was more than one chair with blood on it. So... If it would have been a gun, someone would have heard the noise.
Maybe.
So...
We don't know.
Unless there's like a room that is how do you say that? Soundproof, a soundproof room.
Oh, soundproof. Yes.
That we don't know about, but
I don't think it's soundproof for the only reason that they can hear Kinzo scream Beatrice from outside.
yeah,
the room.
that's what I was thinking, that the study is not soundproof, so it couldn't have been again. So I don't know.
I don't know. We don't have enough.
It could be, but at this point, it would have killed Eva as well, I think. But whatever. Why Shannon? That's the only... That doesn't make sense.
Yes.
とにかく気まぐれな方ですから。現状をご存知なく、お一人で散歩をされている可
Oh
能
no,
性があります。
he is very aware of the situation, definitely.
仮にそうだとしたら、一刻も早く現状をお知らせして、ご指示を仰がねばなりません。
そうね。考えたくはないけど、お父様の身に何かあったのかもしれないしね。
No, it's 6 people, we know about that.
そのような不吉なことは考えたくもありません。
Girl, it was also gonna die very soon, so at this point...
Yes. But still. No one had seen Kinzo since the discovery of those 6 terrible corpses. On the top of that, the phones were broken, the radio wouldn't reach anyone, and there was no way to contact the police.
Okay, I could definitely believe if it was him that broke the phones and the radio. That I could believe.
Yeah, that is very too convenient.
That is very likely, because he knew that shit was about to go down, and he basically thought, wait, if they call the police, this is gonna be a huge mess. So let's just pretend that the phones and the radio, they don't work.
Yes.
It's breaking time. So yeah.
Apparently, the typhoon would leave tomorrow, and a boat would come. But until then, no one could rely on anyone outside the island, nor they can escape the island.
Okay, new bet. The typhoon is not gonna end tomorrow.
Okay. The tragedy had hit everyone so abruptly that they'd lost all of their composure. Everyone felt a heavy silence. Everyone was impatient.
No, wait, even better. The typhoon is gonna
Yes.
end tomorrow. They're gonna go outside. The boat is gonna be unusable. The phones still are not gonna work. Nothing is gonna work ever. And there's gonna be like several days before people is gonna come for reasons. Because 9 days,
Oh,
baby. Okay, 9
I
days.
see. I see.
9 days of these. 9 days of a very long game of Among Us that lasts 9 days.
Very long. I see. Even though they needed to do something, they couldn't think of anything. So some of them held their heads in their arms while others got agitated. Right now, no one could explain what was occurring on this island, Rokkenjima. Except someone could. After that, we ate the breakfast Kumasawa-san had made, which felt dry and tasteless.
Oh,
Yes?
we stopped with Maria Tolkien, so we don't know. But she basically said, "Oh yeah, don't worry, guys. It's just Beatrice killing people. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's
But
gonna be okay."
as always, everyone is actively ignoring Maria.
As usual, and honestly, she's the only one that probably knows everything.
Yes.
Because, as I said at the beginning, the children are... Little
More
kids are more
sensitive.
sensitive towards magic and stuff. And folklore and stuff like that, usually. So, makes sense. If you remember, she was sad about the temple that got destroyed.
Yes. Of course, this was right after something that... What the fuck? Of course, this was right after something like that had happened. That's a weird sentence. No one felt particularly hungry.
It's a little bit convoluted, yes.
However, we understood logically that not eating would weaken our bodies. It would also be rude to Kumasawa-san, who had made the breakfast.
Yeah, after seeing blood everywhere. Also, if you think about it.
Yeah. Kumasawa-san had taken some unusual Western vegetables, ones that Gora-san had probably ordered from his ultra-elaborate meals, and cooked them in a Japanese style.
Aren't vegetables the same? Our Western vegetables?
I can give you one example that comes to mind really easily. Eggplants are different in Europe and Asia.
Oh, okay.
Ours are like very brown and
No.
bitter.
I understand what they mean by Western. I was thinking about there's like vegetables that are not there in Japan, but yes, okay, makes sense.
Maybe at that point there weren't, or they're very hard to find even today.
Yeah, it could be.
I can think of Japanese vegetables that are very hard to find here.
Yeah, but not the
other way
opposite.
around.
That's what I was thinking about.
So she tried to cook those vegetables in a Japanese style, which made them turn an unpleasant color. Oof.
Oh yeah.
As to what Gara-san had been planning to cook with those ingredients. Right then, I couldn't even imagine it. If I did think about it, I'd be reminded of the way Goda-san died, and the sour taste would fill the inside of my mouth. Everyone pretended to eat for the time being, but of course, no one made much progress. Then, we began pooling our knowledge of our current situation. First off, 6 people, who included Uncle Kraus, my dad, Kirie-san, Aunt Rosa, Goda-san and Shannon-chan. had been found in the Rose Garden storehouse as brutally mutilated corpses. And yet, we still couldn't contact the police, since both of the phones and the radio were unusable. So, until the typhoon passed, there was nothing we could do. Furthermore, grandfather, who we might have hoped would be able to show a little leadership in this kind of a situation, had disappeared some time ago.
Basically said, fuck you guys, you're on your own, I don't care about shit.
Gura-san hadn't made breakfast, so grandfather's stomach must have been empty. And if he had just been taking a casual walk, we should have been able to hear him whining about how hungry he was by now. And despite that, he hadn't appeared. There was more than a small chance that he'd gotten caught up in this crime. According to my aunts, on their way back from Kinzo's study, they searched for him, calling out on every floor, but were unable to find him. Considering the timing of it all, it's only reasonable to assume that the disappearance had something to do with the crime. We figured the dad and the rest were probably killed in the dining hall, and then painstakingly moved to the storehouse.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe grandfather had already been killed and dragged to some strange place, which we simply haven't discovered yet. No one actually said it out loud, but this theory seemed extremely convincing.
私たちはお屋敷の戸締まりを確認してきます。お父様も念入りに探さなければなりません。子供たちはこの部屋を出ないように。エヴァさんと秀吉さんは申し訳ありませんが、南條先生に
I don't trust you too, fuck you.
Yes, and honestly, that makes sense.
Yes.
わかりました。
He basically said, Eva and Hideyoshi stay here. Nanjo, look at them.
Yes. Please make sure they don't kill the children. And Natsuhi followed the servants, Genji-san, Kumasawa-san, and Kanon-kun out of the parlor. All that was left was Aunt Eva, Uncle Hideyoshi, Dr. Nanjo, and the four of us children, a total of 7 people.
みんなで仲良くテレビでも見て待ってよな。しかし日曜日の午前中はろくな番組やっとらへんな。
Uncle Hideyoshi started acting cheerfully, trying to brighten up this glooming atmosphere.
ろくな番組見る見る。
お、そうか。マリアちゃんはテレビ見るか。じゃ、おじさんと一緒に見ような。
Maria was the only one who joined in. Even though Maria had been told of her mother's death, she didn't show the slightest flicker in her emotions.
Okay, yes. No.
Was it really normal for a 9-year-old girl like Maria to act so much like a very young child?
No.
Everyone else's mood failed to improve, and they each sank absent-mindedly into their sofas.
兄貴、聞いていいか。なんだい。さっき倉庫で兄貴はシャノンちゃんの指輪の話をしたよな。
Oh, yeah, of course, he doesn't know.
あれ、
Yeah.
送ったのは兄貴か。
Lord Janiki didn't answer, but he hung his head and closed both of his eyes. There could be no clearer response.
よせよパトラ。少しは察しろよ。
How could you? Come on, dude.
悪いことを聞いたぜ。そうさ、僕だよ。彼女に昨べ求婚したんだ。その時指輪を渡した。明日になったらそれを好きな指にはめて返事としてくれって気ざったらしいことを言ってね。
And that ring had been on the ring finger of Shannon Chan's left hand.
I bet a phrase like that sounds better in
Japanese.
Because a ring on the ring finger is kind of...
Yeah, but that's even in Italian it sounds better.
Yeah, that's why I thought about it.
Yeah.
数年前からシャドウに相談を受けてたぜ。ジョージ兄さんのことでさ。
なんて言ってたのかな。
シャノンは嘘をつくのが下手だったからよ。ジョージ兄さんのことを言ってるのはすぐにバレバレでさ。自分は使用人の身分だけど親しくしてもいいのだろうかとか。男の人の
The
好
audio was
きそう
cut
なも
because
のは
it was
何かと
the
か。
other way around.
What?
The audio, I was wondering why the audio was cut like that, and it's because in Japanese the sentence is the other way around.
Yeah, me too. I was like, why is the audio not going on? And then I clicked it was, oh, okay.
どういう服を着たら喜ぶかとか。そんなことをいろいろとさ。なんつうのか。その。まあ、焼けたぜ。
それが婚約指輪を渡されておしまいかよ。
価値観は人それぞれだけどよ。男から求婚されるってのは人生の到達点なんだと思うんだよ。だからきっと昨夜のシャノンは心の底から、いや
Why is it this fast now?
一番幸せだったと思う。
Georgianiki sighed deeply, without raising his head. Or maybe tears had risen into his eyes.
シャノンは昨べゲストハウスの当番だったらしいんだ。でもシャノンは僕と一緒にゲストお屋敷に行ってしまった。
シャノンの気持ちを察しろよ。婚約指輪をもらえばどんなに予告されてたって普通は舞い上がっちまって頭は真っ白になっちまうぜ。気恥ずかしくて仕方なかったんだろうよ。
それでシャノンは当番でないはずのお屋敷へ行き、そこでゴーダさんの仕事を手伝い事件に巻き込まれてしまった。僕があの日あの場所で
It's like you couldn't know, dude.
指輪なんか渡さなければシャノンはサヨは事件に巻き込まれなかったんだ。兄貴、それだけは違うぜ。断じて違う。だからそれ以上泣くんじゃねえ。
バトラー君、そっとしてあげなさい。
After Aunteva said that, I stopped talking to him. Misplaced words of comfort might actually do more harm than good. Jessica sat down next to Aniki and put an arm around him. Maybe only Jessica, who had known about Aniki and Shannon's love since the beginning. And who had even discussed that relationship with Shannon, could comfort Aniki now. I went over to Aunteva and sat down in the opposite sofa.
バトラー君は強いわね。もうだいぶしっかりしているように見えるわよ。
まあそのほら愛の深さが傷の深さじゃないですか。
He's probably in complete denial right now and could actually make sense.
俺は別にあんなクソ親父同志の方が知ったことじゃないし、キリエさんは気の毒ですが、まあ本当の親ってわけじゃないですしね。
Can you feel the copium?
Yeah, I can definitely feel the copium.
という割にはさっきすっごく大泣きしてたわよ。
まあ 育ての親に対する恩は
Yes.
そのあたりの切り替えの速さやドライなあたりは本当にルドルフ譲りね。あの子は昔から激しく喜んだり悲しんだり怒ったりしたけれど、すぐにケロリと平静を取り戻したわ。
そんなことはないっすよ。俺だってまだまだ心の
Yeah,
底から
that's
立ち直
why.
れちゃいません。ただ俺がみんなと違うのは、それによってどういう感情が生み出されるかってことだと思います。
どういうこと？
I've been acting much calmer than Georgianiki and Jessica. That wasn't because my sadness wasn't any less intense, or because I'd already recovered. My sadness was simply getting replaced gradually with a different emotion.
悲しいっていうよりは腹立たしいって気持ちなんすよ。どこのドイツがこんなことをしやがったのか。横っ面に一発お見舞いしてやらないことに
Okay, it makes sense.
が収まらねんです。
That was what I really wanted to do.
Okay, so it's like in the second phase of grief. It's like in anger.
Grieving, yeah.
Hi, Astra. Hello.
No. No, don't get crazy. It's going to work out.
Oh man, what happened? You okay?
Astra, if you need some space to vent, you know where to be.
Oh yeah.
If it's something she talked about in the afternoon, then it's not. It's bad, but it's like bad. It's just very annoying. Hopefully, it's just that. Oh no, okay. So it's a
yeah.
good kind of crazy.
Oh,
Okay,
that
great.
kind of crazy. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I did that. I did all that
Yeah,
twice, and I'm good with that. I don't think that's
Yeah,
ever gonna
yeah.
happen again. Okay.
Tablet drawing. The drawing tablet. She basically sent me some messages this afternoon because she was going absolutely crazy that this tablet wouldn't connect to the PC and work, and she stayed like that for like 40 minutes until she began saying, "Okay, I am going to replace it," and then the tablet was scared and actually worked, but was working really badly, so it ended up being replaced anyway.
It tried. It tried. I mean, technology knows when
Yes.
when it's time
Yes,
to not work.
about yeah.
I mean,
And
knows.
it also hears you when you want to replace it.
Oh yeah, remember last time?
Yeah.
Like what, a couple of weeks ago? Yeah.
Yeah.
That day I was thinking, maybe I should buy a new graphic card. Computer said, how about no?
Yeah, I did the same with my driver. Do you remember I was going crazy because I was so scared of losing everything?
Yeah, now it's working
and then
again.
It worked.
Yeah. Was a very tiring day. Oh yeah.
I hope you can get some very nice tea or herbal tea and relax a little bit. Ooh, more commissions. Nice.
Good. Oh, trailer and original song. Ooh.
Ooh, nice. I'm excited for you.
Oh yeah.
Chocolate. Great. Good job.
Good. By the way,
that was what I really wanted to do. I couldn't forgive myself if I just sat there, overwhelmed with sadness and hugging my knees.
親父たちが殺されて以降、この島は台風に包まれたままです。つまり、これだけの上等を決めてくれやがった野郎は、まだこの島の中にいるってことです。
Okay.
そういうことになるわね。今も暗い森のどこかに身を潜めているのかしら。
I felt like I'd had a very similar conversation with Kirie-san the night before. That's right. After the letter from the person claiming to be Beatrice appeared at the dining table last night, we talked about whether or not a 19th person actually exists.
エヴァおばさん、この殺人、昨夜のベアトリーチェの手紙と何か関連があるんでしょうか、ね、
I mean, it couldn't be a coincidence, but of course.
It could, yes.
ああ、例の
Couldn't, I said, not could.
Ah, couldn't. Okay.
さあ
Too strange for being a
どうかし
coincidence.
らね。あの手紙はお父様が遺産問題に絡みたくて出した怪文書という見方で兄弟は一致したんだけれども、それと今朝の事件に関係があるかは今の段階では分かりかねるわね。
あの手紙、本当にベアトリーチェなんて魔女がマリアに渡したんすかね。
まさか全部お父様の仕組んだ茶番でしょ。シャノンちゃんあたりに肖像画のドレスを着させてマリアちゃんを騙したんでしょ。
No one said that, but okay.
お父様らしい手の込みすぎたいたずらだと思う
It hasn't been
けど。
confirmed that, at least.
Yeah. Sorry.
昨夜、キリエさんと
No,
ベアトリーチ
no,
ェ
no,
は
no,
実
no.
在するんだろうかって話をしたんですけど、
You okay?
Yes.
Okay.
キリエさんも俺たち18人の中にベアトリーチェがいるだろうと言ってました。
そんなの当然じゃない。この島には私たちしかいないのよ。なら私たちの中の誰かがベアトリーチェを語ったに決まってるじゃない。
この島には俺たち以外はいないっすか。
当然でしょ。私たち以外の誰がここにいるっていうの。この島には私たちしかいない。18人しかいない。ならベアトリーチェを語るのも18人の中の誰かしかいないじゃない。
Hide-san denied the existence of a 19th person by spinning the chessboard around. Even though Aonteva hadn't constructed an argument that complicated, her opinion at least was the same. Except, if that's the case, our situation starts to look very ugly. At the time of Beatrice's letter, the whole thing could be passed off as a prank set up by someone or another. However, if we're assuming that there's no 19th person, we can't ignore this anymore. In other words,
19人目がいないなら、親父たちを殺した犯人も18人の中にいるってことになっちまう。つまり、今この屋敷にいる誰かが殺したってことになる。
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Onteva smiled meaningfully. It looked like she thought this conclusion should have been obvious from the very beginning. God damn it.
犯人は倉庫の中に6人の遺体を運び込んでもよく倉庫の中に運び込めたわよね。
Yeah, it's very soon no one saw that or
あ
heard
のシェルター
anything.
は常に閉められていて施錠されていたそうよ。
Yes.
And also that's the matter of the key.
つまり
Oh, right.
倉庫内に運び込むにはシャッターの施錠を開ける必要がわかる。
たまたまその日、シャッターが開けっぱなしになってた可能性は。
Nope. I
Don't
think
think so.
Canon
使用人たちは
said
常に
he
閉めていると言ってたわ。
checked.
Yeah.
つまり鍵を使用人室から持ち出さなくては倉庫は絶対に開けられない。
鍵は使用人室の一つしかない。
There's probably another key or something.
Nope,
ケンジさんは
not
そうだ
that
と言
one.
ってるわ。
Sorry, could it be that... I don't know how though. I mean, could it be that someone make a copy of that key?
That's could be. It's a bit
It's
complicated. though.
probable, but not impossible.
Yeah.
Because there's ways of making keys with... making copies of keys with very simple stuff.
Yeah, we can't exclude this completely.
It's very hard to do, but not impossible. If you have a mold, if you take a mold of the key, you can like copy the shape with basically everything. That can become hard easily enough. Or you can even like you know that you can use like plastic to make and with that I mean you can cut yourself plastic by hand to make a copy of a key if you want, depending on the key of course, but still.
I see.
ということは、犯人はそのたった一つの倉庫の鍵のありかを知っていて持ち出した。さっきカノン君が使用人室に鍵を戻すところを見たわ。壁にびっしりと鍵がかけられていて、とても素人にはどこに何がかけてあるのかわからなかった。
Also, the two that could have been checking the keys, which are Goda and Shannon, they are casually dead.
Yes.
And they said that Goda was like an accident, basically, in the description. It's like, well, it was there. Well, it was like, it was a witness, so he's gonna die.
Unfortunately, it was there.
犯人はその中から倉庫の鍵を見事選び出したのよ。しかも札も何もついていない鍵を手に
Oh
して、
yes,
バラ
also
庭園裏に
that
ある倉庫の鍵だと理解した。
you have to know that that key is for that if there's no tag
Yes.
or anything.
Yes.
ついでに言うと、倉庫の場所すら理解していた。もっとはっ
And
き
the only
り断
one
言す
who
る。
knew between them was Jessica, who remembered vaguely that a warehouse was there.
Yeah, and not even that clearly, so
Yeah.
yeah.
犯人は使用人室の内部にも熟知している。
Her argument was extremely plain and clear. If the bodies had been found thrown somewhere in the bushes of the rose garden, there would have been much to go on. However, if there was only one key to the storehouse in the servant room, and it was stored with such a large group of keys, a novice would not be able to tell them apart.
Yeah.
This meant the culprit was someone who went into the servant room a lot and was familiar with the locations of the keys.
It couldn't necessarily be someone that was that
Servant?
familiar, though, because it could have been someone that was. Think about this. You're thinking about a plan to do. It
Okay.
could be anything, killing someone, etc. And then you see a storage that's very far away. It could be a place to hide a body. Don't you start thinking, where the heck is the key to that place? And then you discover it. And then you think, yes, that's where the key is. And you start making your plan.
Yeah, but imagine.
Even
I mean, keys come in a lot of shapes, but imagine if most of the keys are the same round
yes,
shape.
of course, but
How
also
can you tell them apart? Even though you've seen this exact key, how can you tell them apart?
yes, but think about it. If the key is similar to a lot of other keys, if there's no tag, there's definitely a place where the key goes to separate it from the others.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
So if you just
even
need to discover where that is.
think about your own keys. Let's say you have like 3 or 4 keys, for one for house, one for work, one for whatever. Okay, and they all have similar shapes. Even if those are your keys, you probably don't know by glance which keys is what. So you have to do something to
Remember them?
remember what is what. So if the key is similar to others, it must be that there's a specific place where that key goes, or that must have something to make it different compared to the other. As long as you learn what it is,
Yes.
you know which key. It's not that hard, because a key is something you use often. So, and you have to know immediately what's the word for. So, even if it's your key, there's definitely a way for you to understand what is what.
Understandable.
Okay, I wanted to be a detective when I was a kid. Have I ever said that?
You wanted to?
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a detective.
Ah, that's nice.
but then I realized I couldn't really make a life out of that, so never.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So I did not never become real because of that, but still.
Well, you
And
are being a
also,
detective right now.
and also, I didn't want to be in the police. I wanted to be a private detective, like, you know, the one in the books.
Yes, I see. The family members didn't normally go into the servant room.
Specifically, Detective Conan.
Understandable. Which meant that
ってことは使用人の誰かが犯人。
Not necessarily, though.
maybe could be.
Could be, but not necessarily.
悪いけどそれ以上はおばさん
Also,
も言えないわよ。
Canon killed the person closest to him. Kumasawa
Yeah, isn't
that
it
can
weird?
barely move.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Genji. I don't.
Genji could,
Is
I
the
think.
only one that could physically do this, but is
I don't know.
the one that Kinzo trusted the most. I don't know. I don't see that. I personally don't see it, but is plausible. But I think between all the people here, the less plausible,
Yes.
the least plausible. Detective Conan con i prodotti di condominio.
That's my fault, I think.
Exactly.
Detective Conan is my fault.
That, and also Conan the Barbarian. Conan il Barbaro.
Ah, see?
Of course.
Of course.
でも一つだけ教えられることがあるわ。
なんすか。
犯人、犯人たちは複数で、そして十分な武装をしていたと考えられるわ。だってそうでしょ。
Multiple in number could be because
Yeah. That could definitely be.
they killed a lot of people and there had to be a lot of them for carrying these out unnoticed.
No. That actually I thought, and that's why I pinpointed Eva and Hideyoshi earlier.
But fairly armed.
I'm thinking about something here.
Yes.
That Conan persona delle cose. Eva actually have a weapon on her hand all the time. She got a fan.
Her fan?
Yes. You know why often in like media fans are weapons? Do you know?
No, I
No?
think I heard
Okay.
about something like that, but I'm not too sure.
Okay, this actually comes from Japan as well. Because basically, in official reunion between samurais or between shinobis and stuff, weapons were forbidden. Okay? But hey, it's very hot, and this is just a fan, and oops, there's blade hidden inside.
Ah, I see.
So that's why in media there's a lot of fans that are wet, that are actual wet. Think about Kitana from Mortal Kombat.
I'm thinking about something though. This could be very much into Eva's character, but I will raise you one point. She herself is a weapon. She's a martial artist.
Yes, also, but
She
I
wouldn't
mean,
need that kind of weapons.
it's more effective. If you there's a lot of martial art that use weapons also, And if you think about it, the fun with the hidden blades also goes with her personality.
Oh, yeah, I would say
She got a very sharp tongue, and
yeah,
and
it's
that
a
goes.
sharp tongue.
That's a weapon.
Sorry,
That's a weapon.
her sharp tongue is
So I could see that working for her, and
her tongue. I'm so sorry.
that's okay. That's okay. That could also very very well with her. And still, if you're thinking about there's martial arts with weapons, and a fan is a weapon. Can be a weapon if
Understandable.
done properly. Also, this seems like this reasoning that she's doing right now could be a way of, hey, no, don't look at me, look at that.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Could be a deceiving.
She could be distracting Butler with
It's
reasons.
definitely not me. Oh, look, this is very
not
more
me.
probable. Also, think about this. Why she's telling that to Butler right now?
Yeah.
There was no reason to talk about that right now.
Agreed.
食堂にいた兄さんたち4人を一度に襲って殺し、合計6人分の遺体をようようとバラ庭園の向こうの倉庫まで運んで、悪趣味な化粧と落書きを施している。これだけのことを単独犯で行えるはずもないでしょう。
It made sense.
It probably would have been possible for a single person with enough time, it would take so incredibly long. It was probably safe to assume that a significant number of people were involved.
Just doubling the people from 1 to 2, it's a lot less of an effort if you think about it.
Phew. ってことはエヴァおばさんは使用人の人たちがみんなグルだろって言ってんすか。
静かになさいな。憶測で言っちゃ悪いわよ。それにもし本当にそう、彼らは私たちを生かして返さないでしょうね。しかも、兄さんたち4人をやすやすと殺した相手なのよ。今この部屋に残っていて、まともに戦えそうな人間は、うちの家族の3人にせいぜいバトラ君で4人ってとこ。
No, that's okay. I was like, what? Am I hearing voices?
No, it was me.
See, this is also a way of decision. She's putting herself in the mix. Because she could, if you say, oh yeah, I could be me, you, this person, if you put yourself and you say that, it's like you're saying, yes, it could also be me, but in that way, in that way you think the other person that she's talking to, it's probably that they could think, oh no, yeah, I mean, if it's her, why is she saying all this?
Yes.
Kind of like a reverse psychology.
状況は昨晩と何も変わらない。つまり犯人にとって残る私たちを皆殺しにするなんて簡単なことなのよ。
I've been playing detective with Aunt Eva, trying to expose the person who had killed Dad and the rest before the police did. If only I could cleverly penetrate the culprit's identity and stick the proof in their face. I'd be so sure that, just like in one of those detective movies. The culprit would then give up and surrender. However, the culprit would only surrender if there was no way for them to fight back.
Want me to read from now on?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I think I'm still fine, but...
Yeah, but I mean, it's like... If you divide the time, I think it's like half me and half you. It could be right now, if you want.
Yeah, sure.
The culprit behind the crime on this island were far from helpless and might have been able to massacre all of the remaining people here. And on top of that, this island was like a giant closed room cut off from the outside world by the typhoon, so they had a full day until tomorrow to kill, skim, and camouflage themselves. In short, it wasn't a safe atmosphere where we could get very far by playing detective. To the contrary, we were at a stage where we had to be scared stiff, since playing detective might displease the culprit and cause them to commit another mass murder.
あくまでも可能性の問題よ。でも私は使用人の人たちをまだ信用できない。それに私は使用人だけを疑ってるわけじゃない。さらに黒幕がいるかもしれないと思ってるわよ。
黒幕？どうしてですか？
勘よ。使用人は書いて字のごとし。誰かに使用されて手足となる存在よ。
Yes, but still. Even if you're a servant, if they ask you to kill someone.
なら、その結果で利害が発生する人間が関わるのは。
You forget that two of them were not strictly Ushiromiya.
Yes. This was also plain and clear. Ushiromiya family had been right in the middle of discussions about how to distribute the inheritance when grandfather died. Also, conveniently, Eva and Hideyoshi, they left the room before everyone else.
Before everyone else, yes.
But this gets followed the standard from any classic mystery novel. Crime was definitely caused by someone with ties to the Ushiromiya family and was involved in the inheritance problem. Whatever probably read a few books in that genre herself. The argument may have had a few blind deception in it, but it was the standard conclusion that anyone might have reached. I think most people would end up suspecting the servants, even if they use different reasoning to get there. It's always the butler. Always the butler.
Wait, so Butler is the culprit?
No, not butler. The butler. But still, could also.
Which one?
Which one? Oh man. Especially the story about the key to the shutter. That made it very easy to suspect that one of the servants was involved. Yes, but if you think the fact that the two persons that could have used very easily the shutter are dead, the key for the shutter are dead, it makes it more complicated than that.
だからなぜか気に入らねえんすよね。
気に入らないって？何の？
いやいや、こっちの話っす。
Tried to dodge her question by joking, but I couldn't erase the sense of unease welling up inside me. After all, the conclusion was such an easy one to reach. A conclusion anyone could reach. And I just couldn't be satisfied with that. I tried spinning a chessboard around like another from Kiryu-san. Exactly why a servant couldn't possibly be the culprit. Servants really were the culprits. They wouldn't hide the bodies in a place connected to themselves. Also, yes. Why on earth would they use the Rose Garden shed if they were one in charge of the key and that could unlock it? They could unlock it. The police would probably immediately pursue whoever had been in control of the key. It's even possible that some other facts might come to light as a result. The more we think of the servant as the culprit, the less reason they had to carry the bodies into the storehouse. But if they knew we'd think that and put the corpses in the storehouse for that very reason, well, if you reason like that, you're never gonna reach a conclusion also, though.
Yeah.
No, that's completely impossible. When police come and inspect the scene of the crime, they'll probably be unable to uncover many things. No matter how carefully the culprit carried out that murder, some traces will definitely be found. In other words, they have everything to lose and nothing to gain. If you think about it this way and look at this murder game from the culprit's side, it's hard to imagine they'd want to call attention to the corpses.
Right. There was also the circle to consider.
Mm-hmm.
That was very clear.
It was a very, very loud, in quotes, sign.
Yes, very prominent one.
Yes, it's like, hey, you should really look at these.
Hey, look, listen,
and
look,
not
listen.
at other stuff. So the logical point would be, don't look at this. Look at that. Look at something else. Once the corpses were found, it could result in someone sending a report to the police, or it might make the remaining people more cautious, or it might make the survivor start to search for the culprit. Also, even if you okay, let's say that the Beatrice story and the letter and everything else, it's fake, okay? And one of the children of Kinzo made all of that. One son slash daughter and wife slash husband, could be everyone, anyone, okay? Why you want the corpses to be found? Wouldn't it could have been, I mean, it's a day with a typhoon and everything. You could make it look like an accident.
Right. But this looked like a deliberate murder.
Yes. It could have been everything. Oh, it could have been, hey, come with me outside. There's something you have to see. Come immediately, run. Someone's in danger. Go outside. It's an island. You could go on a hill, on any place. Push, dead.
Yes.
This sounds very deliberate for a reason.
I agree.
Also, killing 6 people at once is very hard to do. Yes.
Yeah.
It would be more easy to kill one at a time. So, none of these things would make life any easier for the culprit. Just like the word of the main character mother in a novel I recently read. I read recently called Igurashi no Naku Koron. What?
So this happened.
Okay. Every story needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Eliminating that beginning is essential for the perfect crime. Right now, we don't know where grandfather is. We don't know if he's already become a victim or if he's one of the culprits, but this state of confusion must be beneficial to the killer. Yes, definitely. The culprit has absolutely nothing to gain by showing us the bodies in such an obvious way and making us all realize there's been a murder. In fact, this is the perfect place to spin the chessboard around. In other words, showing us the corpse in such a flashy way must be the culprit go in and of itself. So at the very least to the culprit, the appearance of corpses there meant more than the deaths themselves. Wait, I don't get this point, though. The appearance of 6 corpses there meant more than the deaths themselves. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying before.
It doesn't matter who died and how.
Yeah.
The reason all of this happened was for everyone to find them.
Yeah. In other words, the culprit wanted this murder on display. Oh, that's okay, Mikhail. Have a good night.
Good night.
You like it quite the pixel beat, huh? Good night.
Good night.
It's mandatory. I have to say it. Everyone says that. Something like
No,
that.
no. It's okay. We got it.
In other words, people wanted this murder to display. Okay. To whom? But to us. But why? This is a message, yes. I don't really understand the message though. The corporate is trying to show something in our face. I don't know what it is. Okay. That's still unclear. At this point in time, this vulgar mass murder isn't making me feel anything except a malice directed toward all of us. Malice towards all of us. Is it? Are you trying to tell me it's not towards all of them, but towards one specific person?
Could be.
But who? Said the owl.
Ooh.
Each one of the survivors had some kind of connection to the sixth victim. Uncle Kraus' death brought Jessica the grief for losing a family member. The deaths of Dad and Kiryu-san brought me sorrow, while Aunt Rose's death brought Maria sorrow.
Maybe.
Did it though?
Maybe.
Goda-san death probably shocked his fellow servants. Really? I don't know.
Probably.
Probably.
To Kumasawa.
Shannon-chan death brought grief both to Giorgio Nikki, who had proposed to her, and Kanon-kun, who had loved her like an older sister. Everyone now on this island had received an equal amount of sadness. Does it really, though? No, I don't think so. Not everyone has received an equal amount of sadness. Aunt Eva was sure the seven were in cahoots. But then how could you explain the death of Goda-san? No, not everyone got the same amount of sadness. I said that this earlier.
Yes.
Eva and Yoshi didn't lose anyone very close to them. If murder was legal, these three would have killed each other years ago.
Yes.
So no, not everyone was taking the same. Let's say. Okay, but how could you explain the death of Goda-san and Shannon-chan?
Can I give you like a fun fact that popped into my mind at this moment very randomly?
Yeah.
The sound of the wind that you hear right now.
Mm-hmm.
I am fairly sure that it is the same in Higurashi no Kokoro ni, and 99% sure it's the same that you hear in Chikonia.
And they also said about the book. Okay, so yeah, it could be on purpose.
It could be on purpose.
Could definitely be on purpose. At any rate, but this argument, the grief caused by the sixth death hit everyone. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. Okay, finally. Everyone but Aunt Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi. Even Aunt Eva, who had directed suspicion the servant and acted as though she herself was beyond suspicion, could not be ruled out as a suspect. In the first place, she was able to argue that the servants were suspicious by focusing on the shutter's key. But if you look at it from a perspective of motive and would gain, Aunt Eva names rise. Thank you. Okay, see, I'm not the only one. Okay.
Of course you're not. I like this about the game. It guides you, and if you actually can follow, you're basically at the same level as Butler.
She knows. Of course she knows. She's not dumb. She of course knows that everyone would suspect her.
わ嫌だな。内緒にしててくださいよ。あんなことやこんなことで頭をいっぱいにしてたなんて。
Butler, please.
私がこの殺人で一番得をする。どうせ疑われるだろうから先に自己申告しておくわ。
And this is also a way to get away with it. Saying it like that. I tried to dodge the issue by joking around. Apparently it didn't work.
遺産は兄弟の数で分割する。でも今や4兄弟は私一人。後ろ宮家の全財産は全て私のものになるの。
秀吉おじさんが聞いたら予算か言えばシャレにならん。
What did you say?
ところっすね。
You said something?
Wait, I said, why are you laughing?
Oh, yeah.
ごめんね。どう取り繕ったってどうせ疑われるだろうからふざけただけよ。だからこの殺人は私の立場から見れば私を疑わせるための。
Oh, now we are going there? Okay.
困ったことに夕べのアリバイは弱いわ。
Yeah, sure. You were casually the one with, and you and your husband were casually the ones that went to bed earlier than anyone else.
聞かせてもらってもいいですか？夕べのことを。
バトラ君たちも知っている通り、兄弟が遺産をどう食いちぎり合うか。でも何時まで続いたかは知らない。私と主人は朝が早かったからね。もう眠くて24時を過ぎたあたりで抜けさせてもらったの。そしてゲストハウスに戻って休んだわ。
それを秀吉おじさん以外の誰かに
That's the
証明
point.
できるっすか？
Of course, Yoshi's gonna cover his wife.
I guess.
いやいや、別にエヴァおばさんを疑ってるわけじゃないっすよ。
あら、どうだか。証明になるかわからないけれど、ゲストハウスに戻ってきたとき、源氏さんに出迎えを受けてタオルはいるかと聞かれたわ。
Even them went back to the guest house, even though there were rooms prepared inside of the mansion.
Why did they went to the guest house? This is more suspicious than staying there.
だから私たちがゲストハウスに戻ってきた時間は24時過ぎだ。
It's just to have an alibi. So that someone saw them there.
もっとも私の仮説通り使用人たちもグルなのだとしたらこんなのアリバイにならないけどね。
確かにそうっすね。ってことは俺今真犯人と推理ごっこをしてるってことになるんすか？
でも私の名誉のために言わせてもらうけど、遺産目当てだったならこんな変な殺人はしないわよ。だって遺産相続権を喪失させるだけならどんな死に方だって構わない。
That is
She's so
true.
blatant about it.
That is true, but you're talking like it's not. You're talking about it like it's nothing. That's the strange thing.
Yeah,
むしろ事故死に見せかけた方がスマートでしょ。
but this is what you were talking about before.
Yes, that I was talking about that before. Yes.
Yes.
使用人たちを抱き込んで周到に計画していたならなおさらそうするでしょうよ。
No, I don't think you would do that though. Come si dice viscido in inglese?
Slimy?
No, viscido nel senso schifoso, nel senso...
Oh god, wait.
I forgot how to say that. I completely forgot how to say that in English. I guess I knew.
Because oh, creepy.
No, that's not what I meant though.
Mm, they say slimy.
Yeah, but that's more the more literal sense of that.
Hmm.
Uh,
I find slippery. Viscid. Viscid, I think, is the
Viscid? Yeah, could
viscid.
be.
Wait, let me just check.
Is it really like that?
Some words, yeah, because some words are uh, derived from Latin or Greek, and they are actually used in English
Oh,
for
actually, I see that someone
sound.
says slimy in that way, though. The slimiest personality, for example.
Yeah.
So it could actually be slimy. Okay, I thought it was another word, but whatever. So yeah, she's too slimy for having other people that could be potential witness, let's say,
Yes.
to that. So I think if she could, she would have do this alone, but she would have probably been held by her husband. I don't think she would have involved the servants. Also, most of the servants are directly under Kinzo. Yeah, so
確かにそうっすね。営利で人を殺すなら、それは常に殺人に見せるべきではない。
But yeah, the part about being an accident is the one that is the most strange.
そういうことよ。だからおばさんは今からとて
Oh
も
yeah, you're in a very blue mood.
警察には黒幕扱いされて
Oh
散々調べら
no,
れるでしょうね。
poor Eva.
やだやだ。
Eva shy with a bitter smile. It was just easy to suspect Aunt Eva. It was to suspect the servants. I don't think the servants are actually into that, honestly. So we spin the chessboard around. Does that make it impossible for the culture to be her, as suspicious as she is? However, that sort of angle will always work. The motive can never help us in any. Yes, the motive here is not really helpful. No, that can't be right. Knowing the motive just must give us powerful clues toward knowing the cult. Yeah, but the motive here is only one for everyone. So
Yes.
that's why the murders from all time periods guide crime in a complicated way, cleverly preventing their motive from being discovered. Yeah, but we have a motive for her and many other people.
Yes.
I don't get it. Still don't get it. Every time I spin a chessboard around, it keeps flipping from front to back and back to front. Are my thoughts bringing me closer to the truth? Or are they... Also, game, I would really like if we continue that Tolkien with Maria earlier, because I feel like we're missing a very huge piece of the puzzle there. So
Yes.
if we could, please go back to that for like 5 minutes. Aunt Eva didn't want to talk any more than that, so I folded my arms and headed to the window to cool my head a little. As I looked over the parlor, I saw George and Nikki and the others gathered talking. It looked they were talking about the magic circle that had been painted to the shutter. Uncle Yoshi thought back to that time. He started drawing the shape in the margin of Maria's notebook. I see. Since Maria was second only to grandfather's knowledge of the occult, she might understand what it meant.
多分こんな感じだったと思うで。十字架を
See?
アレン
The
ジしたみたい
game
なマーク
listen
が
to you.
書かれとったんや。
Thank you, game.
そしてこんな感じで外周の円を取り囲むように妙な文字がびっしり書き込まれていて、十字架の上下左右の辺とその四隅にも何か書かれていたんや。
I'm also thinking, if he's the culprit on that, why asking about the circle right now to her? It could have been anyone. But whatever.
アルファベットとかそういうのとちゃうで。あれはよく言う古代文字とかいうやつや。
あと円周部の頂点に小さな丸を5つ十字状に並べ、それぞれを直線で結んだようなマークでした。
ああ、確かにそんなのも書いてあったで。図形的には間違いなくこれや。細かい文字はわからんが、配列はほぼ同じや。
Everyone was staring down at the shape, so I stared down at it too. What I heard is a painting on the shutter to the storehouse with some material that looked like ketchup. Was definitely ketchup.
Sure.
Tomato sauce. You know, for pasta.
Yeah.
Actually, I see. This sure is unsettling.
こんなわけのわかんねえもんを書きたがるのは、まったく、どこに行っちまったんだ。
If you think about it, it could also be just to draw attention to him. Maybe.
Maybe.
とっ捕まえて意味を聞き出してやりたいぜ。
Jessica's voice contained impatience and anger. She hadn't gone so far as to say grandfather was the culprit, but she seemed sure that grandfather knew something about the culprit's background. Of course, if we're searching for a link connecting the Yushimiya family to the cult, 10 out of 10 people would think of grandfather. Tori! Hi, Tori!
Hey.
Thank you for the redirect. Hello!
Hello.
I'll give you a shout out on Twitch because I have nothing on the YouTube side.
Oh, it's okay.
Is this right? Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you for the redirect. How are you? And what were you doing? Tell us. This is also hello everyone. I'm Pixelbit, and this one up here is a certain old called Offie. We're playing Umineko, who is also the owl's favorite game.
Yay.
Hello.
Hello.
By the way, I should probably go into the loo. Oh, she's the loo is the bathroom in British.
Yes, I knew.
Okay, I didn't know. She told me actually. Sorry, told me. Okay.
I saw one ASMR video where the ASMR artist worked in a place where they had toilets all around the world, and you had to sign in a membership to be able to use them whenever. And the service was called Lulala.
That's a very good name, I have to say, for a bathroom service. Lulala.
Yes.
Very cool. Okay. Also, to a person who knew nothing of the occult, this strange mark would have no meaning. Which meant that this might have been something addressed to grandfather. Right, that's right, and the reason the crime was shown to the survivor was so they'd find this. In that case, where had grandfather the essential recipient of this message disappeared off to? It could be that he saw that and he could have seen a message for him, and that's why he disappeared.
Oh, maybe.
When I looked at the shape with a serious face, maybe she was enthusiastic because this was her area of expertise. However, her appearance was that of someone separated from the events at hand. So this thing at being drawn on the shutter closed around their mother's corpse.
僕の第一印象ではどこか外国の十字章に似たデザインだなって思っ
It
たから。
does, actually.
Yes.
ああ、確かにこんなデザインや。ということはどこぞの国と何か関係があるんか。
Not really. Not necessary,
No.
dude.
He tried.
その国の十字章はもともと聖地巡礼者を守るための騎士修道士たちの紋章
Yeah,
だ
and
った
then
そう
and
で
then
す
the Nazis used that.
Yeah.
つまりこの魔法陣には宗教的な意味があるってことかよ。
Could be.
ますますにちんぷんかんぷんだぜ。
When I looked over at all of them, prepared to jump into the discussion, something shocked me. Maria was smiling, a near incomprehensible expression on her face. Definitely a totally normal kid.
Yes, definitely.
It was almost she was making fun of everyone's ignorance. It was an expression I wouldn't have dreamed to find on Maria's face. Oh god! Okay! And she laughed. That eerie, jarring laugh was something I didn't want to believe was possible, even though I was looking at it right in front of my eyes. What the heck? Okay, this was unexpected.
全然違うよみんな。こんなの見てわかんないかな。
Who's responsible for this droid? No, seriously.
Sorry.
Oh, we look at the most horrible thing on the screen. Go. While everyone was busy being scared out of their wits, Maria kept on crackling happily by herself. After a while, can we change image, please? Oh, another hiccup. Wait, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, now I can hear you. You crashed.
I crashed. I crashed
Yeah,
again. What the heck?
Yes, life is live. Life is live.
Yes, yes. Oh, it says I'm in the room already.
Nope. Exit and re-enter.
Okay, I'm connected now. Okay, here we go. What was that? This was Maria's fault. She used black magic on us.
Yes, exactly.
She used black magic on
Yes.
us.
Yes, exactly. This is Beatrice making fun of us. This is Beatrice making fun of us.
Yes, definitely. By the way,
Laughing at our expenses because we are ignorant. Ignorant.
just finished creating your evidence. Oh yeah, this is hi Astra. This is a little kid, 9 years old, little girl.
Yes. And
Yes.
she's such a sweet,
Normal-
and nice and respectable 9 years
Yes,
old.
she is like talking about our area of expertise,
Which is
right
the
now.
occult.
which is the occult.
Nothing,
Yes.
nothing weird
Everything. Oh, nothing weird. All is normal here. What if this was the game messing with me? Oh, definitely could be. Yes. Honestly, it also. What did happen earlier? When there was the magic circle? I think.
there. Yes, there was a magic circle.
Yeah. Okay. The fact that this happened twice and in two very specific moments, it could definitely be that the game is haunted or something.
Yes. No, Astra, wait. You can hear her. You can hear it in her voice, how normal she is. Please continue.
Yes, okay. After a while, that laugh was suddenly abrupt and cut off. But her expression still looked like it belonged to someone completely different from Maria.
これは太
Thank you. The 7th sequel of the sun.
書かれてる文字はヘブライ語。貸して。
Maria stole the writing material from the son of Yoshi's hand. Then she started drawing another Margie sequel with a rustle, right next to the one Yoshi had drawn. Oh yeah, no one was expecting that face. Also, do you think I was expecting that? Because I wasn't.
I forgot that that was a thing.
Look at... What the heck?
This sprite I know very well.
Also, she completely changed the way she's talking. Like when she was reading the letter.
The letter. So she's not reading off of anything. She's just her speaking this way.
Yeah. Does she suffer like double personality or something?
Could be.
こんな図形だったんじゃないかな。
そんな図形だった。
マリア、すごいな。さすが詳しいぜ。
Jessica tried to smooth things over by praising Maria. She wanted to confirm that this was still a Maria we all knew so well, but Maria didn't answer in any way in particular. Maria began swiftly writing a familiar character in the corners of the shape. Such a little shit face. How could be? When Uncle Hideyoshi and Dr. Nanjo saw them, their eyes immediately began to open wide.
天地と左右に書かれているのは風化水道を司る天使たちの名。カサン、アレル、フォルラク、そしてタリアハド。
Okay.
そして斜め四方には4代の王たちの名。
I'll just pretend that this is normal.
See.
アリエル、セラフ、タルシス、ケルブ。合ってる？
Even if they hadn't been able to correctly write what they'd seen, when they were once again shown something identical, it wasn't difficult then to realize the two were the same. Templar Order. I think the Templar Order...
The cross.
Yes, but I think the Templar Order names are taken from the angels. I could be saying something wrong, but if I recall, and I could recall wrong, they had something to do with the angels, but the angel orders or something like that. Don't really remember, but if I have to go by mine. Okay, even if they had been able to correct, there was something identical, it wasn't difficult to realize the two were the same. Okay, yeah. When Maria asked them whether it matched, Uncle Yoshi and Dr. Nanjo nodded over and over again.
間違いない。そうや。確かに。
I think this is a sign.
What the heck? Yeah, me neither. I can't believe this either, honestly. One moment. We're all thinking about it, yeah. Just because we were all thinking about that. Okay, I think we're back. Yes. I don't know why this keeps happening, and it's actually very strange, but whatever.
I see the live still offline. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yes, one moment.
Okay, now we're live. Okay.
Yeah. No. We are definitely live, and we are definitely still going.
Check YouTube as well.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Yes, everything works. It's working. Because it's like it happened for just 1 second, and then everything goes back to normal. I don't know why. Never happened before, but whatever.
This is Maria.
This is definitely
We
Maria.
do not believe in Beatrice.
It's bad. Like we don't believe enough in Beatrice. That's why. I wonder if we're able to write something like that.
あと演習部にも文字が書かれておりましたな。
わかってるよ。
Of course she knows.
こうでしょ。
Maria quickly began to run its circumference with more Hebrew writing.
Yeah, it too. I think this is a sign.
Yeah, I think it's a sign to stop. Yes. I to stop. Yes. I wanted to finish at least this discussion, but apparently
It's not working.
apparently this is a real sign that we should really don't do this right now. Okay, let me reappear. Let me just rejoin room and reappear at this point. And it's a shame because this was getting juicy, but still.
Yeah, but maybe it's going to be better if we stop here and continue, because if I remember correctly, the next scene is also
Very long.
pretty intense.
Yeah. Okay.
I just wanted Maria to finish talking since you were so invested in it.
Yeah, me too. I was very invested in this, honestly. I was very invested in this, honestly, so I don't know. Okay. We could let's just finish this thing about the psalm for it's gonna be 1 minute at this point.
Okay, go.
聖書くらい読んでなきゃ。
We must have at least read the Bible, right? I think I still knowing this was the only common sense Maria laughed. For a while, everyone including me was at loss for words. A little later, George and returned to his sense and slowly managed to speak.
すごいね。驚いたよ。それで、この魔法陣にはどんな意味があるんだい？
太陽の力を借りる魔法陣だよ。黄金で描き、護符にして身につけたる者はいかなる牢獄であろうとも、束縛から逃れ、自由を得られる力を授けられる。
He who wears this talisman drawn in gold shall be able to break free from the bonds of any prison and receive the power to gain freedom.
束縛から逃れ、自由を得られる意味深だぜ。
この束縛という意味は何も肉体的なものだけを指さないと解釈される。
How is this girl the same from early? What the heck?
だから縛られて牢屋にいる人ばかりに意味があるわけじゃないよ。しがらみや逃れぬ運命など、
okay, I understand.
しがらみや逃れ得ぬ運命、これまた意味深だな。
しかしさっぱりわからん。それとあの6人の遺体とどんな関係があるっちゅうんや。束縛からの解放どころか殺された上に倉庫に閉じ込められてたんやで。
別にその6人のために魔法陣が描かれてるわけじゃないね。魔法陣のために6人はそこにいるんでしょう。
Is the music stopping here on purpose? No, okay.
Yes. It's
just
not,
looping.
it does not loop correctly because the song is not supposed to do that.
Okay.
So it just stops abruptly and then continues.
お気の毒だよ。
We're there for the sake of the magic circle. Stop doing that face.
どういう意味だい？魔法陣のために6人がいるってのは一体。
We're left at the point and figure why you were making fun of us.
それは演習部に書いてるよ。読めないかな。
No.
詩編第116編16節と17節。読んであげるよ。
Thank you.
主は私の枷を解かれました。私はあなたに感謝の生贄を捧げ、主の皆を呼ぶでしょう。ね。
Oh, they are sacrifices. Okay.
Yes.
何を言ってるのかさっぱりだぜ。
生贄だってのか。
Yep.
Yes.
Remember what it just allowed the vital part of the magic circle, then it was seen that sacrifice had to be offered in order for this magic circle to be effective. So human sacrifice had been offered since inside the storehouse, where the magic circle had been drawn. A heartbeat later, everyone else seems to reach the same conclusion. Some people were shocked and others spat out that this was insane as they punched their knees. It was starting to get incredibly disturbing, and we couldn't accept it or understand it, and no one is actually saying anything about Maria, and what the heck. And I go my shield because other people, I won't pick a fight with them. But they really think that and the rest of sacrifice for crap like that. I just couldn't stand that feeling. Compared to this, I prefer when we were still these guys with a fear about the fight over the inheritance. Oh, yeah, honestly, yeah, couldn't stand that. I started getting pissed off with the feeling between anger and sadness. A book from the circle everyone was in and returned once again to the window. Something had gone insane since yesterday. This is a good point to stop.
I think so. It could be that discussion would continue a little bit more, but we can stop here for now. Yeah, at least you know that this is an actual magic circle.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know at least. Okay, let me save.
Remember to save? Yeah.
Okay, people. Thank you everyone for being here. Next week it's gonna be in 2 days, and it's gonna be Undertale. You're gonna fight Sans, or at least die trying.
You got this.
Do you have any idea how long it took for me to fight Undying the Undying?
No.
Yeah, 3 hours.
Well, you can beat Sans eventually.
Yeah, I hope it's gonna work. I think there's it's gonna be an entire stream just for Sans, but whatever.
Have confidence.
No confidence. Okay, thank you for being here. I'll see you guys in a bit, in a pixel bit. And what about you, Ofi? What do you have in?
I have in store. I have no clue. I seriously think that I'd like to stream during the week, but I have no clue when because I have stuff going around.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
So I'll let you know eventually.
That's good. Okay, thank you everyone for being here. Have a good night. We're going to bed before the stream explodes again. Bye bye.
Bye.
It's all Beatrice's fault.
No.